This is the pop-up. This is why you have to be a subscriber to this channel and have that instant notification bell clicked. Because, sometimes I just decide to do things. Now, this video was originally going to be, oops, this video was going to be I forgot to get the document off the printer. Sorry. Here it is. This document was going to be just a recorded video. And then I decided to do it as a live because everybody was here and everybody was like, "Oh no, the thing was short. What happened?" But I had to cut that one a little short because she wasn't feeling well, and the guest who was the one who had all the research on the issue couldn't make it at the last minute. So that was one of those things. Sometimes you just got to roll with stuff. But luckily, I had this prepared to step in and give you some additional Friday night entertainment. Now, this comes from a young man who posted a question. Usually I don't respond to questions on the channel wall. I tell people all the time, it's a miracle if I even see them. But um, this one I did happen to see, and I didn't make it live because I wanted to make a video response because it's a classic question that I think a lot of guys are want to know. A lot of young men want to know the answer to, and rather than put it in an advice on a what the fuck Tuesday where it would be buried in with 13, 14 other letters, I thought that this would be a way for these young men to be able to find the answer very easily without having to wade through hours of other stuff and figure out what's going on with them. Because when you look at how many single women there are and all these dudes crying about they can't find nobody, it's like, I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something wrong. There's more women than there are men, especially in that group, that age group. So you shouldn't be having any problem finding a woman unless there's an issue that you're not either not aware of or not addressing. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. And hey, everybody. Thanks. I knew you guys would like to do that because it seemed like everybody was disappointed that the other show was so short. Um, Understand that. Let me turn the light on here because I'm looking kind of grayed out on this thing here. Um, I had my cousins over last night, so look at my bags under my eyes. Oh my God, they just was. Ooh, they're alcoholics. I just don't understand how do we come from the same genes? I can't hang with them. So here I am, like looking all like roadkill, and they're just all fresh as a daisy. So whatever. But what we're gonna do tonight is respond to this young man's question. Let me pull it up, and I'll be going through the 5 reasons that I think that they don't have anybody. Okay. I think there's 5 of them. There's probably more, but I limit it to 5 because 5 is a round number that I like. It's manageable. It makes it easy for me to do what I need to do and say what I need to say and be in and out. All right. So the first thing to do is show you his question. This is what was posted on the wall. Oh, and it was under the video, the one with the purple on it. It has to do with that 5 letter acronym and the TFL people or something. But anyway, he says, I just watched the video, and most of what you say is true. There are some guys like me that have sincerely done everything we can: looks, income in 6 to 7 figures, so they got above average earning ability, etc. Yet we are still single. Yes, I know that I'm not entitled to any positive responses, etc. He's talking about, thinking because he has all those things. I was telling him just because you had that stuff, that don't mean no woman is obligated to, want to be bothered with you. Her choosing you is still her choice. Um, but, you know, what can I what can I do? And so he was basically asking other guys. I guess he didn't realize that there's mainly women on this channel. It's like 80% female and only 20% males that are subscribers here. So that really wasn't a smart move, but whatever. He says, what can I and other guys do? And then you can make this into a video if you like. For me, I try to listen to others before making my own conclusions. And so that, I liked his attitude. I liked his presentation. And, he seemed calm and rational. So for young men like this that don't come in here guns blazing, I tend to respond positively. So, reason number one, not clear on the type of woman that you really want. You say you want one thing, but you chase after something else, and then you complain about the women that you meet. Okay, now, I'm not saying this is his thing, you know. I'm not saying that's his thing because I don't know this dude. All I'm saying is that this is a common problem that I have observed. They say, well, I want a nice girl. I want, somebody to settle down with. I want, somebody I can bring home to my mother and my sisters. And I want somebody that, is be a good mother. And I want all this stuff. Yet here they are online complaining that all black women are, these ghetto hood rat hoochie mama section 8 recipient, you know, baby daddy types. It's like, okay, but why are you, and they only want thugs. Okay, but if that's not the type of woman that you want by your claims that this is what you're looking for over here, then why are you concerned with what those women do and who they do it with? Why are you even thinking about them? Why are they even on your radar? Seeing them, reading about them, thinking about them, talking about them. If that's not what you're looking for, then they're off the table. Okay, you shouldn't have any concern about them dating thugs or whatever they do because that's not what you're looking for, right? So, where's all this energy that you focusing on the very thing that you claim that you don't want? See, I don't get that. So, in the meantime, while you looking over there at La Shanika and all these other people, then you're missing out on Beverly Ann and Sheila and all these other people that are the ones that you claim that you want. See, because you look in the wrong direction, my brother. You're looking at the wrong thing. You're looking at the fat ass and the short skirts and all the stuff instead of looking for a woman who projects the things that you say that you want. Because you're really concentrating just on that, then there's like millions of young women that meet those standards, but you're not checking for them. You checking for nay, nay, them over there. That's what you're doing because that's all you talk about. So obviously that's what you're thinking about because that's what you're focusing on. See, men don't talk about stuff that they're not thinking about. And the fact that you're talking about it in a negative way, like, like they don't want you, that means that deep down in the recesses somewhere that you haven't admitted, that's really what you want. You're jealous of those, quote, thug guys because that's the kind of woman that they have. Even though you say it's not the woman that you want because otherwise you wouldn't be talking about them. So, there's a conflict there that I think you guys don't really think about that you need to resolve within yourself. So that's why I say you're not really clear on the type of the woman that you really want. Because if you really wanted that type of woman, there's zillions of them out here that are single, that are looking for a good man. They want a husband, they want to have a family, they want somebody who believes in God and or Allah or whoever. They want all this stuff, right? And you are that thing, but you're looking in the wrong place. So you got to fix that. I can't help you with that. That's something that you have to come to grips with yourself. And a lot of times it becomes when you're young, the young dudes, you choose a woman with your dick. That's bottom line. You choose who makes Mr. Willie stand up at attention, and you think about the fact that she's trifling and two bit, and all these other things way later after you already got involved with her. So you don't be thinking about that at the moment. You be thinking about Mr. Willie. And so your Willie gets you in trouble. Okay, then you end up all bitter and acting stupid online and going crazy on women when you should have been over there with Sheila and them instead of Nay them. That's what you should have been doing. So, your complaints, as far as I am concerned, fall on deaf ears. Because unless you are dating that kind of woman that you claim that you want, with the nice family and her parents were married, or maybe they not married, they're divorced, but they're still cordial and respectful to each other. They get together at family gatherings and they still socialize and talk kindly about each other. I mean, that's the kind of family environment that you want. So that's what you have to spend your time and energy looking for, dude. Stay off them swipey things. You ain't gonna never meet the woman that you're looking for on the swipey thing. You have to get out and go to networking events, and you have to go to, like sorority and fraternity parties, and events, civic events and political events and things of that nature. Music concerts and stuff. Get your ass off the computer and go somewhere. And don't be going with no whole gang of niggas either. Okay, that's really scary for women. If you go out, take one dude with you at the most. One. You guys, partner up in case there's some issues with somebody being a dedicated driver, what they call a designated driver, and stuff like that. That's an important thing. Um, and it might be a little safer. I mean, even for dudes, sometimes, you get robbed or whatever. But okay, one person. Okay, don't be rolling out with 10 or 12 dudes and thinking that you're going to be like talking to women looking like that. Five dudes all and stuff, and it's one girl. She's going to feel scared. She's not going to want to talk to you. Okay, I'm supposed to be turning this off. Oh, all right. So that's one thing. All right. I'm just looking in the chat room. What? Somebody was being rude. Oh no. Well, I know Lady Boss is gonna get them. I'm not concerned. All right, let me go back to the slides. Okay, so that's reason number one. Get clear on what you're looking for and stay focused on that. Do not let Mr. Willie get you in trouble going down the wrong path. Okay, that's how you end up being a baby daddy and paying a $1,200 a month in child support to some rich ratchet witch that you just can't stand. Okay, that's how that happens. Next slide. Reason number two. Now, keep in mind, these are my observations from my almost 30 years in this field of the men and what they say and how they don't get what they want and what they say they want. These are my observations. So here we are on reason number two. You're not really clear. Okay, the first one was you're not clear on what type of woman you want. Okay, now then you get to you're not really clear on what type of relationship you really want. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Okay, that's when, you meet a woman and you tell her that you're looking for something, meaningful. Okay, now, ladies, part of this is going to be your responsibility too because you let them use those polite euphemisms. You need to nail the motherfucker down. Okay, he's talking about this vague pie in the sky stuff. Is like, okay, well, what exactly does that mean? What's your time frame for this? What's your plan? What have you done to build, make this happen? What's the program like, step by step? You need to figure it out. Okay, if he don't have no idea, that he's just talking shit, just because he just want to get them panties. But if he, says, well, I have a 2-year plan. I'm going to finish up my master's, my MBA, and then I have an inside track to blah blah blah, and so I'll be able to double my salary. Then I'll be able to buy a home, and I figure that within the next 5 years, I'll be positioned financially and career-wise where I want to be, where I can take on the responsibility of a wife and a family, and I'll be able to handle it. I don't want her to be overly stressed out. I want my children to have a mother there as long as she wants to be there on maternity leave, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is the motherfucker that's giving some shit some serious thought. You see what I'm saying? He's going to rattle it off, and it's not going to be pie in the sky what he wanna, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's going to be what he's doing or what he has already done. Okay, that shit is sexy as hell to women who are in the mode looking for a husband. It's like, okay, this dude, he got his shit together. This is somebody, they talk about they want somebody to follow them. That's a man that you can, just tail after And because he got the shit, the path is laid, the path is smooth. It's not going to be stumbling, bumbling, and falling and going into potholes because he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's not only is he doing it, he's able to to communicate it to you and any persons in your family that are watching and caring for you, which is usually your parents. He'll be able to sit down with your daddy or your stepfather or your uncle or your big brother or whatever and say, yeah, man, I'm serious about this shit. This is what I got going on, and blah 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 blah. If you have any ideas for how I could make it better faster, especially if the person's older and they're in this career or whatever, then they might have some tips for him, and he's open to hearing them. That's the dude. Okay, that's the dude right there. So oh, so you not being real clear on the type of relationship that you want, my brothers. This is the dude that comes in the door talking about um yeah, they're confused. That's exactly what I was going to say. They're confused, or, let's just see how it goes. Or, I'm not really sure. I'm not really looking for nothing too serious. Or, I just, I got friends. I'm this, I'm that. Okay, ladies, if you on that page too, then it's fine. That's just, it's a match. Okay, everybody on that same page. But if you're looking for somebody who's serious about making this step-by-step plan so that by 30, 32, or whatever, he's in position to get married and he got his shit together, well, then you would let that dude go because he's not talking about nothing. He just want to play around. He's still in the discovering phase or building phase, whatever you want to call it. He's not ready for prime time yet. And also this thing where they do the waffling, they're indecisive, they flaky. I mean, you can't, if you have a dude, just like the example I gave on the show last night that I was telling the doctor about, he couldn't even show up on time for a date. Do you think I'm gonna invest emotions in somebody he's flaky with time and got this attitude? Like what? He would be the same way about my heart. See, behavior and attitudes, people project them early on in the relationship. You ladies have got to start paying more attention to what dudes do and see the big picture for what that means. He didn't hold my time and being with me in high regard. He was very cavalier and and casual about the whole thing. That's not somebody that I'm gonna be in love with. That's not somebody that's gonna be good husband material. That's not the dude. Okay, that's not the dude. So my, young men, if this is the kind of behavior, the program that you're running with women, you get involved with them and you all gung ho and stuff at first, and then you start half stepping and flaking and half showing up and canceling dates and making plans and then cancel them at the last minute, and being undependable, or the relationship is stuck. You never move forward. You don't go from just casual dating to a couple. You don't go from being a couple to being engaged. Your relationship is stagnant. Women hate stagnant shit more than we hate anything. What is going to be happening, nigga? What's going on? Make some shit happen. And you guys that don't make nothing happen, you lose women's interest. I mean, you might be a perfectly nice dude and you might have something, on the back burner in your mind, but unless she knows and she can see it and feel it, then you're going to lose her because she's going to be like, well, he just playing around. He's being stupid. I don't have time for this shit. And then she's going to be gone. And you're going to be sitting there like, oh, but I'm a good man. I have a good job. I was serious. But you ain't doing nothing. Nothing is happening. There's nothing tangible that she can see and tell her parents about, and then her parents will see. You're not doing nothing. So, I mean, it's great that you make money. It's great that you have an education. All of that's wonderful, but that's all for you. That ain't shit doing shit for her. So you need to keep that in mind. You back and forth. Sometimes you want a relationship, sometimes you don't. Well, I don't know if this is really what I want. Da, da. And you women, like I tell you, if they start doing that kind of shit, you need to drop them. He starts talking crazy like that. He's not sure. He don't know. He's flaky and he's confused and all this old stuff. Dump him. Just dump him. That's he's looking for a way out. Give it to him. Don't invest any time or energy in a man like that. Just stagnant and just stupid. Okay, so let's move on to number three. Now, This is a big one. I have some sub numbers under reason number three. So, in spite of, in spite of outer trappings of success and having it going on physically, I mean, you're not ugly. You're kind of attractive in the face. You got no little muscles and shit. You look good in your clothes. You look good out of them. It's like, oh, somebody be like, oh, hey, hi. What your name is? Okay, so you get that kind of interest in women from women. But is you got some stuff on the inside of you that needs to be worked out. You have some inner work to do. So let me go over some of them. All right. These are saying, in spite of outer trappings of success and having it going on physically, there is inner work to be done. These are some of the things that I've seen that turn women off and make women lose interest in you. Even if they initially had it and, maybe even was dating you for a minute or something, went out a couple of times or whatever, something you did or something you said or something you didn't do or didn't say turned them off. And so these are just a few suggestions. You might have, other ones. I'm not saying that this little 5 reason video is the end all and be all of every reason that there is. I'm just pointing out some of the more common things that I have noticed over the last 25, 27 years. All right. So, number one reason is that you lack confidence. You have low self esteem. Confidence is the number one turn on for women. I mean, you might look like a mud duck, but if you got a little bit of swag about you, you come into a room, you own that shit. You come in shaking people's hands with a smile. Your posture's good. You have a presence when you would meet people. You're not afraid. You go forth and meet challenges, and you have this like really positive energy and this strength that exudes from your pores. That shit is sexy as all hell to women. They love it. Most of you do not have it. Even if you have studied in school, and even if you have these outer trappings of success, inside you feel weak and you feel insecure about yourself. You doubt everything. The first response, they had a guy on the channel the other day talking about, people, the women in Philly. And I said, well, you act like that's the only place in the world that women are. I mean, you got a job, right? You got a car. I mean, why don't you like go on, little weekend trips or something, or go on a trip somewhere on your next vacation. Don't just spend it at home. Do something with yourself. Go somewhere where there's a lot of women. And so, he came back with this. Well, I wouldn't know what to do, and they probably wouldn't like me anyway. And he just listed all these reasons why the ideas that I gave him would fail and why it wouldn't work. Hadn't tried shit, ain't done nothing. But in his mind, these are all the reasons why it was not going to work. And I was just astonished. I mean, sat there and I looked at that, and he like a whole paragraph full of shit of his reasons why he talked himself out of getting off his ass and leaving Philly to go and find a place that has the women that he's looking for. He just talked himself right out of it. That was a lack of confidence and his low self-esteem. And so I all I typed into to him was like, okay, you just gave me 11 reasons why it wouldn't work. Now I want you to turn around and give me 11 reasons why it will. And he was good. He thanked me for the kick in the butt. And a couple of ladies recommended he go up to the DC area where there's all these professional sisters working in government and going to the universities up there and lawyers and doctors and all this other stuff, and they're single. And he's in Philly, he's single, he's accomplished dude. It's like take your ass to DC and go to some of them parties and stuff and meet some women in there because they're desperate to meet a decent dude because the dudes in the DC area are trash, 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 trash. So, I hope he takes their suggestions. So that's an example of what I'm talking about and why women, seeing a dude just talk himself out of winning is a turnoff. You don't want to be bothered with him because he's already set himself up to accept being a loser. Who want to date that? And it don't matter that you have a job. I mean, anybody can take a fucking test and repeat some shit out of a book. Okay, what do you do? How do you approach life's challenges? That's the sign of somebody who's going to be a winner. That's when men project confidence or lack of thereof. Okay, you want to project to a woman that you are talking to that you are that nigga. Okay, I'm that dude. That's the kind of energy that you need to be putting out. And that's why the dudes that you all call thugs, that's why they be winning because they have that. Even if it's pretending, because a lot of them, I mean, it's a persona that they adopt. Okay, instead of complaining about them, what you need to do is watch them, watch what they do, how they carry themselves, how they look, talk to people and stuff. They ain't afraid. They might be a little overly aggressive, which in a business setting, that's not going to be a good way to do it. But I'm just saying, look at their lack of fear. When they talk to people and stuff, that's what you want. So you don't have to say the stupid shit that they most of them say, but just look at their, how they approach a new thing, like when they want to meet a woman or something. They don't hold back. They roll right up to her and talk to her. That's what you need to do. Okay, and you know what? If she says no to you, asking her to dance, or no, she don't want to give you her number, or is your ass gonna die? Y'all act like this is life or death or something. Like you asking her for bone marrow transplant or you for your leukemia. It's a phone number. Buck up. Come on now. Number two, this is all under reason number three, but the outer trap is a success, but there's inner work to be done. Okay, so work task number two, you have poor social skills. Okay, now a lot of dudes have this Aspergery type of, persona, and I'm not saying it's your fault. Okay, I'm not saying that that's something that happened when you was in the womb or shortly thereafter, whatever. You don't have any control of that. What you do have control over though is how you manage it. Okay, because now that you're aware of it, you've been diagnosed. There are all kinds of programs and things that you can do that will help you, manage that so that you don't come across as somebody who is socially awkward. That's what women hate more than anything. Uh-oh, what's happening with my YouTube? Is it stuck? Huh. Okay. Not sure what that was all about. So, okay, number two. So, poor social skills. Okay, you're socially awkward. Okay, so you don't really know how to behave or act in public. You don't ask the right questions. You ask some really kind of bizarre, overly personal questions to people. It's kind of off putting talking to you. People get this weird vibe from you. There's just not a good flow to interacting with you. And like I said, the fact that you have Asperger's or, whatever these things are, is not your fault. I'm not blaming you. What I'm saying is, once you are aware of it, be a man and take responsibility for it and learn how to manage it so that it doesn't mess up your life. Okay? There's, different programs, books, videos, all kind of stuff that will kind of train you how to interact with people. For other people it comes naturally. For you it's going to be something that you have to concentrate on learning how to talk to people, small talk, what things are appropriate and not appropriate to say to women. Okay, that's a big one. Men say dumb shit and then you wonder why women are turned off. Somebody posted on the wall the other day how she's this is at her job, right? And she's black, and this black man at her job comes up to her and says, "Yeah, make that money so we can get paid." Okay, how inappropriate is that? What you trying to act like she your bitch on the corner, nigga? Really? So see me, I would have went straight to HR on his ass. See, that's the kind of stuff, you have to understand certain things you don't say at work and certain things you don't say to women, period. You can think whatever you want to think. You can say dumb shit to your male friends. They might roll their eyes at you too, or they might laugh. They might think it's funny because they've said equally dumb shit. But there's certain things you as a man have to learn how to control your mouth. Okay, because your mouth will get you in a lot of trouble. And y'all be saying inappropriate things to women and it turns them off. It makes all the pussy juice in the world dry up like the Sahara Desert. Okay, and then you be wondering why you don't get no trim. Because you did this is out of control. You need to keep it reined in. Okay. If it's something you get ready to say something and you think, okay, I wonder if I should say this, that means don't say it. Okay. Don't be blurting out dumb stuff. Okay. And asking people stupid questions like, for one thing, you don't ask a woman, like, what size do you wear? Or say stuff like, oh, you have a big butt. You have big boobs. And they feel like it's a compliment. It's like you're an idiot. Okay. That's just dumb. Or some of you just talk too much. You talk too much and you don't it's not like I said earlier, there's not a flow to interacting with you like a normal back and forth. It's not there. You monopolize the conversation or you don't say nothing at all. And the woman is just sitting there looking at you like, what kind of date is this? Or what kind of conversation is this? I'm having it by myself. This is a fool right here. Um, or you have bad manners. you know you have bad manners, bad table manners, bad manners, period. You don't open doors for women. You don't get like a gentleman. And a lot of you will be like, well, there are all these feminists, this and that, blah blah blah. That's not the point. Okay, the point is, what do you do? What she does, the fact that she might have poor home training, that's her and her red wagon. They don't have shit to do with you. Okay, because if you're going to really be a gentleman, you're going to be a gentleman 24/7 everywhere you go. That's the one thing my grandfather used to impress on us all the time. You take home with you everywhere you go. That was his thing, which meant your home training. So you dudes who want to pick and choose who display your gentlemanly behaviors to, you're not a gentleman. You're doing that stuff to try to manipulate and coerce somebody into doing something that you want them to do by displaying these behaviors. That's not a gentleman. You're just a little clown. Okay, that's not it. And so either you talk too much, or you don't talk at all. And the dudes that talk too much, sometimes it's nervousness. You just be rattling off and just don't nobody else can get a word in edgewise. If that's you, learn to stop, ask somebody a question, and then shut up. Let them talk sometimes so that they feel like you're trying to get to know them and not just all focused on like your narcissistic self. Okay? That's just not cool at all. Let me put this back so the people who are wandering in, this is what we're talking about right now. Reason number 3 of my top 5 reasons accomplished, good looking men that are paid and educated can't find a woman. And this is a frequent problem for a lot of young men, and I'm giving them some of my sharing rather some of the observations that I've made on why they turn women off and why women are not interested in them that I've seen over the years. So under this reason number 3, I have one, two, three, four, five, 6 reasons. Six like sub reasons or whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All right. So I talked about low self esteem, lack of confidence, no swag. That was number 1. Number 2 was poor social skills. Okay, now we're on to number 3, which is entitlement issues. What does that mean? Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be somebody who, chases women down the street and all this kind of stuff. But there are guys, even though they come across as very nice and stuff, but because they are educated and because they have these degrees or whatever and this nice job and nice car, they own a little condo, whatever, they have the sense of that, well, I performed everything on the checklist that I should do, and where's my woman as my reward? Okay, that they feel like they did those things and that they should get, the booty of their choice at the end of doing all of that as their prize. That's not how it works. Okay, because like I said, there's some inner work. You got the outer trappings, but your inside is all fucked up. And a woman, once she gets acquainted with you, she don't want no parts of you because yeah, she might marry you and you have money and it might make her life nice and she have a nice car, she have bling and have nice vacations and a American Express black card and all this old stuff because you got it balling like that legitimately, but inside you an asshole. You're like a narcissist. You stuck on yourself. You think everything should be your way or no way at all. You make outrageous demands on her, and it's just like, it's not comfortable for her to be with you. It's a strain. She feels like she's always got to like perform like a circus animal because you have this like role that you want her to play, and that if she doesn't do it by the script that you have in your little head there, then suddenly there's something wrong with her. You don't allow the women in your life to be real people. Make mistakes, sometimes not want to comb their hair, look a hot mess with a cold or whatever. You always want her to be put together, underwear perfectly matching, nails, no broken nails, all this kind of stuff. And if you have a situation like that, then you need to date a tranny. That's what you need to do. Because real women are not going to look like that. Not all the time, only on very special occasions. Okay, so you got to figure something out about what you really looking for. Real women are not going to be picture perfect all the time, and they're not going to want to do what you want them to do all the time either. And you making these outrageous demands is just going to turn her off and push her away from you. All right, so that's number three. Number four is anger management issues. Now, a lot of you don't, you laugh about like you having a temper, but one of the things my father used to tell me all the time is, the first thing you need to do when you get involved with a new nigga is piss him off, because you want to see how he handles his anger. And I thought he was crazy, but I do come to realize that that was actually excellent advice, because men, who fly off the handle want to be throwing shit, cussing you, or grabbing you, what you got, punching walls and all this stuff, threatening you and all this kind of stuff. You don't want, they don't want, nobody wants you. Okay, there's nobody with any sense wants to be bothered with you. And I caution you, women, if you see a dude and that's, we're dealing with a dude and that's how he responds to a disagreement, you have a difference of opinion, suddenly he become violent, start cussing you out, calling you names and all this kind of stuff. We see that a lot online. And so these guys, they're sitting there thinking, well, why don't I have a girlfriend? Women are evil, this and that. No, women see how you talk about them. Who you think want to be with you, and that's what you really think about women? Are you out of your mind? Something's wrong with you if you think that you can talk about women like that, and that any woman that's in the category that you said, remember, Sheila Nim, is gonna want to be with you. You're drunk, high, stupid, crazy, something. Maybe all of the above. It's not gonna happen. And you will continue to be by yourself. Okay, you cannot talk to women any old kind of way. That's one thing I appreciate about my husband, I have to say, because that man, I know I pushed his ass to the limit, like to the cliff where he was hanging on by his fingernails. But he never, ever even raised his voice at me, not one time. The whole time we dated and the whole time we were married, not once did he yell at me. And I seen him go off on other people though, so I know it was in him. Oh, he could cut up and act a complete fool, and the whole room would clear out. Something about them Tauruses, honey. They don't play. But he never treated me like that. He never treated his mother like that. And she used to drive him crazy. Never treated the baby like that. And I know she made us both feel crazy. And I just never saw him act like that with anybody that he cared about or respected. It was only when people were a threat to me, his mom, somebody who was threatening or mistreating someone, then he would rise up like there was nobody's business. But you guys who have a situation where you want a woman to trust and love you and to be vulnerable to you, but she's scared of you half the time, that's never going to work. It's never going to work. Woman after woman's gonna leave you if they ever get involved with you at all. So if you have some issues like that, your anger, you don't know how to really control it. They have classes for that. I suggest that you enroll. Some of them are associated with parts of prison sentence and domestic violence cases and stuff like that. But you can also enroll in therapy and group and stuff through your health insurance, your work health insurance plan. And group therapy is a lot less expensive. So I would, recommend that. Plus, it's interesting. You get to see other guys, who's struggling with the same things that you are. The fifth thing on my list is you may be verbally or emotionally abusive, and you don't know it because the style of communicating with women in, well, just pretty much worldwide, that men adopt is very negative and is abusive behavior, is abusive words and language that you use. It's like snark. You always want to put a woman down. You even making jokes like, well, you know how those women are and stuff like that. is you know is condemning her as as a person. She can't help that she's female. There's more than you can help that you're male. But so to try to shame her for being a female, I mean, what are you doing? You say that's what you want. You want a nice woman, but then you turn around and say, these women, all these individuals, they these bitches, they all hoes, they this and that. And you hear, some that nice lady who would be a very good mate for you. She hears you talking like that. She's not going to be bothered with you, And if you're that condemning, judgmental type where you think that women are not supposed to have a life, not supposed to date, have sex, and be, interesting people with friends and travel and all this stuff. You think that because somebody's dating you, that they need to stay at home and just look at you, and you're gonna monitor everything they wear and everything, every place they go, and what time they come and go, and have all these rules and stuff. You just doing too much, and you make it like a woman has a struggle to be with you, and every constantly putting her down. You put down her dreams, and we see this online a lot. The men come and when they talk about, well, you just gonna be single with some cats, or you this and that, you black women this, or you women blah blah blah, oh you women and blah blah. Okay, you guys who are making all those, you have that in your mind, and then you think that you're gonna go out and interact with women in a way that doesn't reflect that attitude. You're drunk. Okay, it exudes from your pores that you have that fucked up attitude about women, and you think that you can hide it. Women will know. Okay, we always know. We can feel it. We know that you ain't shit, or that you're a piece of shit when it comes to women. We know this about you. We feel it. And that's one reason why women avoid you like the plague. So, if you have a woman who's very connected to herself in her spiritual sense, and she gets that little tingle of warning of danger about you, she's not going to want to fuck with you. So these are all things I'm telling you guys that you need to do some inner work, to check yourself and figure out what's going on with yourself, and do you have these attitudes and are you in this mental state, and does this apply to you? Are you walking around the world with this sour fucked up attitude about women, even though you smiling on the face? She can see it in your eyes. She can feel it in the way your body language, the way you look at her. We know you can't keep it a secret. So you need to go to a shrink and resolve that shit. The same with you have any past trauma. The lady yesterday was talking about trauma, and it really made me think about it. A lot of dudes have been abused too. Suffered neglect and abandonment. Parents was on crack. Don't know who your daddy is. Suffered with poverty, struggling. That makes a mark on a child. It makes you have some problems. So what you have to do though, is work on that. And I really wish more men would get therapy. It's something I think a lot of men would benefit from having somebody to talk to in a professional capacity to help them work out that angst and those hurts. Because you take that stuff, you think, well, I'm gonna just G up, I'm a man up, I'm not gonna let it bother me, I'm not gonna be no punk, blah 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 blah. And then you get into a relationship with a woman, you're so walled up, you can never give her the intimacy, that deep connectedness that she's looking for. That is the kind of shit that a woman will think about your ass 24 hours a day. She will wake up in the middle of the night and turn and look at you and smile because your ass is there. Okay, that's what the kind of connection you want to have with your woman. She's gonna breathe when you breathe. Okay, that's the kind of connection that she's looking for. You can't offer nothing even remotely like that because you are so scared, so wounded, so protective of so scared of getting hurt that you build all these walls behind to keep pain out. But you know what? The walls work two ways, fool. Just like here's my phone, right? Okay, this is my wall. Okay, now you can't see my eyes and I can't see you. That shit works two ways. You see what I'm saying? So you thinking you hiding and keeping pain out. You're keeping love from reaching you too. And you're keeping any love that you have to give from reaching her. It makes for the worst kind of relationships. Lonely. The woman is crying. She's just in pain all the time. A lot of them will gain weight because they're so depressed and anxious. Why doesn't he love me? He never talks to me. We never do anything together. He never does anything romantic with me. He never tells me he loves me. He doesn't. Okay, she's hungry for all of that. And you being over there trying to be, protective of yourself and protecting yourself from any further trauma, you're not thinking about what you communicated to your woman, which is nothing. She has no reason to stay with you. And then you be mad because she got a divorce and took half. Well, you should have talked to her. You should have worked on yourself when you had the chance. Okay, so that's your fault. Don't be trying to blame her. That's you. You did that to yourself, trying to be, something that you shouldn't have been. If you was gonna be all fucked up like that, then don't get married. Don't even date. Don't even try to date. Don't write me asking me no questions about how you can get a girlfriend either. Just stay over there by yourself. So if you're willing to do the work to make yourself a better man, a man that a woman would be proud to call her own, then you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and get busy. Okay, the shit don't happen by magic, and ain't nobody here bewitched, dunk, making some shit happen like that. But you can make the magic happen, but it's gonna take some work on your end to do it. Okay, so those are my 6 reasons under, 6 sub reasons or whatever you want to call it, under reason number 3 of the inner work that you need to do. And this is so common in men. uh it's just so common, it's just unbelievable, you know and I've said everything I'm saying here, I've said it in different forms, in different videos, but I'm putting it all together in one. Like I said, I think it will be much more beneficial to men and also to women, because a lot of you are going to be trying to figure out, what's wrong with your dude. You might be in a relationship where you're still feeling anxious and hungry for affection and time and attention, and you wonder if he loved you, and you just feeling insecure, and this he just not there for you, all this kind of stuff. That's a man who's got some issues, and you need to leave that situation. He has some work to do on himself. All right, so let's move on to reason number 4. I have the top 5. This is number 4. You are reaching outside of your pull zone. Now, what that means is you are overreaching. You trying to get something, a type of woman that you are not qualified to get. So I suggest for this that you guys have to be do an honest assessment of yourself. Yes, you might think that you look good. And I'm not saying that you don't in some respect, but do you look good to women? See, that's the key. Because men's idea of what he a okay dude. He look, he kind of cool. He look all right. Okay, then a woman see you and be like, God damn, that look like a frog. That's like Kermit with glasses on or something. Where the women have different standards than what dudes do. And I know because they set you up on these blind dates with their friends. Yeah, dude is cool. He all right. He look pretty good. This and that. And then you meet this goddamn thing looking like Fred Flintstone or somebody. I was like, nah, dude. You got different kind of eyes than everybody else in the world, but your friend is mugged. Mugged. Okay, pronounce all them syllables. No, that's not happening. So, anyway, so these dudes, you pulling outside your pull zone, right? So, you might be okay. You might be like a 5, okay? You a 5, maybe a 6, you know. And then, but you got a little job and stuff. You all right. You doing all things. Your credit's pretty good, all this old stuff. But then you thinking that you're gonna be like Jay Z, because to me Jay Z is like a 5 or 6. That boy is mugged. And but see, you don't have no Jay Z money. So see, Jay Z's money, along with Jay Z's fame and talent, make Jay Z a 10 in many women's minds because he's got like them equalizers going on, right? You don't have those. Okay, so you, as Mr. 5 or 6, have to be realistic about what's going on with you, and you have to work within the ranges of where you are. So if you are 5 or 6, you might be able to get a woman who's a 7, possibly on a good day, maybe in 7.5. Okay, but you don't have no business trying for them 9s and 10s. That's not you. Okay, you that's too much. You're not gonna be able to get. You're gonna be constantly shot down like a machine gun style. That's what's gonna happen to you. So don't even waste your time. Stay in your zone. Okay, the zone that matches what you got to do. Okay, then you want to check your teeth. Okay, because you might be like worked out at your gym. You got your beard working, your skin is clear, hair is tight. You driving a nice ride, you got a nice car, and then you smile and it's like them chiclets is all kinds of tossed around in your mouth, and you got like black teeth or cavities missing shit and stuff. And please do not have a gold tooth in your mouth. Okay, no. So you need to take your ass to the nearest dentist and handle that. Okay, get you some crowns in there, something, some braces if you need to. They have Invisaligns. It's in the back, it's clear, you can't even see it, but it get your grill tightened up so that when you smile, nobody will be cringing. People will be wanting to smile back at you. Okay, teeth are very important, and then your breath. Now, a lot of times people have rotten teeth, or your diet is all fucked up. So a lot of men don't eat fresh fruits and vegetables. They don't like them. Your idea of a fruit is some orange juice. You need to do something with your diet and clearing your intestines out. That's food with fiber in it, vegetables, salads, fruit, great grains like oatmeal, stuff like that. You want to eat stuff like that so it cleans your inside out. So you don't have like, dead, decaying meat rotting in your intestines so that when you breathe or sweat, the smell comes out through your skin. It's nasty as hell. Okay. And a woman who doesn't eat meat can smell it like a block away. But then, most women just have very sensitive noses. So you want to make sure that clean that out. And if you have anything, dental issues, make sure that that's, taken care of because that'll give you, bad gums and stuff, food trapped up in your gums. You might need to get a deep gum cleansing or whatever. That will rot and your breath will be funky. And also sometimes it's sinus, you have sinus problems. You might have a sinus infection that will also make your breath smell bad. And then women don't want to talk to you because talking to you is painful. Okay, it makes them have to hold their breath and turn away from you and stuff, trying to be polite. You want to make sure that your height and weight ratio, height to weight ratio is proportionate. Sometimes, I mean, there are some women who like them really skinny dudes, and there are some women who like, the bigger, meaty dudes. But in general, women like a guy who has a nice athletic or trim, at least trim body, and, a little muscle, some cuts. Don't have to be a lot, and who don't have a gut. Okay, that gut is just not really cute at all. And you see a lot of dudes, they in their 20s, and they be having a big belly, big old Santa belly. And it's like, what are you doing? That's the 20s. That's when you're supposed to be in your prime. You need to do something with yourself if that's you. And as we talked about earlier, there's some men who are on the fence about their sexual orientation. If a woman gets any vibe that you like switch hitting and batting for both teams, and she don't want that, she just want a regular husband, could be a regular daddy to her regular kids and her regular family that goes to church and has regular holiday dinners and stuff like that. She wants regular. Okay, you over there being a little extra fancy. She don't want fancy, she just wants regular. And so if she gets any kind of vibe that you are not regular or you straight tell her that you do not regular, then she's gonna not want to be bothered with you either. But I'm assuming that you you would understand that. And so that, but I did have to put that on here because this is something, a reason why a lot of guys get rejected, especially in Atlanta. Okay, some of you have nails that are kind of questionable. You got these are really long nails that look scary, scarily long for a male, or your nails are grungy as hell, looking like all kind of bacteria and lab experiments are growing under your fingernails. They have these things called nail brushes. You need to have one in your bathroom at your house. And then you wash your hands with the soap, right? And then you put some soap on the nail brush and you scrub your nails. You scrub underneath the nail tips and you scrub around the cuticles on both fingers. And that's what you need to do before you touch a woman, especially touching her intimate body parts. She can get all kinds of infections and stuff, and it'll become from your nasty ass hands. And then primarily though is your conversation. Dudes, you dudes, my dudes, oh my God. Do you have anything to talk about that people are interested in? I mean, do you read? Even if you just read stuff that's happening, you know, in the on the news. You can read stuff on the webs on web portals. You like on the front page of Google and Yahoo and MSN and all stuff. They have stories. You can tell them what kind of stories you're interested in, and then those are the stories that will pop up on your landing page. I mean, there's no reason for you not to know something about what's going on in the world, so that you have something to talk about besides sports or work. Sports and work. Work and sports. That shit is boring. Okay, I mean, she's gonna want to know a little bit about that when she first meets you, and you keep people up of what's going on your job and stuff like that if you're a couple. But for you to sit on a date and think somebody want to hear you talk for 45 minutes about your goddamn job or about some sports team that your ass is not a part owner of, no, nobody cares. All we care about is, oh yeah, I watched the game. It was great to think my team won. Yay, team. Okay, what was that? 10 seconds. That's enough. Let's move on to something else. Unless she's a sports fan too, but she's still not gonna want to talk about that all night. Okay, so have some conversation. Your conversation should not be involving things that have to do with her body parts or sex. Okay, to think that I would have to tell grown men this is unbelievable, but yet it is so true. I mean, the dudes dating in their 40s and 50s. And even at this age, they still talk crazy and say inappropriate, stupid things or want to ask you dumbass questions. Or they don't really have any conversation. They just want to say, tell you gossip about other people or tell you, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so this, and they want to, try to fluff you up and build up your head and stuff. But that's not really conversation. That's nothing about getting to know you or getting to know each other. There's when I had my singles club here in Oakland, and that was in the 90s. I had these things that called conversation starters, and we would put them in this big, like a plastic tumble thing, right? So you cheer, and then it had a little flap on the side, so people who were struggling with starting conversations could reach in there and get a question. And then, this was all prepared for them. Yes, they paid me to come to the event, but that's one another story. And then they could go around the room and ask people those questions, and people would ask them their question. So there was at least two interesting points of conversation going for each exchange that they had. That was, I hoped, enough to get them started. But some people had to come back and get more. But I don't know what happened to them, but whatever. Yeah, there's no substance. That's what big girl Betty says. There's no substance to their conversation. And for somebody who's got a mind and a woman who's looking for you to stimulate her intellectually, you're not offering that. She's going to be very bored with you, and she's not going to want to be your girlfriend. She's not going to want to even date you a second time. You're going to say something that insults her. You're going to say something that makes her feel like, ew, he's a creep, or you're a jerk. Something some snarky thing you say that puts her down, makes her feel bad. She don't want to see you anymore. Then, I mean, there's a lot of things I think you guys need to reflect on some of the conversations that you've had with women and be honest with yourself. What you said to them and think about how the women responded. I think you'll get a clue of what I'm talking about. The things that you said that turn women off. I'm just trying to be honest with you here. I'm not, because I don't know this little dude. Like I said, I was very pleased that he wrote, and I liked his attitude because he was coming with the attitude of, help me. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do, and it's still, I'm still by myself. But he wasn't angry. He would say, yeah, these bitches. Okay, he was just like, what do I do? I mean, there must be something I'm missing. I love that. I loved his attitude. I loved his approach. And so for men like that, I will make a video. I will do what I can to help them because he came with some humility and open mindedness. And that's all I ask. One thing I hate is when nignogs come flying their asses up in here, want to call women names and act a fool. Then they get blocked and nobody wants to be bothered with them. But you feel like if somebody would do that online, they would also do that, to a woman in person that they don't really know that well. And so that, like I said, that energy, that anger, and that rage at women boiling just under the surface comes out. We see it. We feel it. So you think you only doing it online. We know what's up with you. And don't no woman want to be bothered with your ass. So I'm not saying that's this guy. I'm just saying, that's what we've seen. All right. So, conversation, and I also suggest, taking a look at the chat stream here. Yes, he dude, little dude who wrote this question, he's getting a lot of props in the chat room, and I think it's important for guys, as you listen to this video, you can listen and then you might want to just go and read what the ladies are saying in the chat room because they are augmenting what I'm saying with some really helpful tips for you. Okay, so the final one on my list of the top 5 reasons accomplished, good looking, well paid men are still single in spite of trying really hard is you still living that Peter Pan life. That Peter Pan life. That's a lot of people. I think white people call it like the frat boy life. That's what they call it. I call it Peter Pan life. You have some strange habits. Your behavior is odd. You make her afraid to trust you. And the main thing you have to remember here is what we tolerated and found attractive when we were young, like high school and college age, is not what a woman wants as she started, on the downstroke to 30 when she started looking for a husband and stuff. All right? Oops. Me and my fingers mashing the wrong buttons. So so let's talk about this point five these because there was a lot of things there to go over. Okay, so what are some weird habits that guys have? Farting. They like to fart and they think that's funny. I mean, it's funny when you with your boys friends, and your male friends and stuff, y'all want to do that. I guess that's funny. I don't know. It's rather juvenile, but if you enjoy it, whatever. Another thing that a lot of women complain about is guys that want to play video games all the time. How old are you again? I mean, I know that that's a thing, and young people like playing video games. But if you play video games to the point where you ignore your girlfriend when she comes over because you playing a video game, okay, you what? How what? Well, how is that really a date? How are you interacting with her and spending time with her? She's just looking at your back or your profile while you interact with some people online. You need to put that down and focus on her. Okay, it's like what are you doing? How are you going to maintain a connection with a woman that you don't really talk to, don't really pay any attention to? How does that work? Women need that kind of intimacy from you. I mean, she could get it, but she gonna get it from somebody else, and then you're gonna be sitting there looking stupid. You won't have nobody but your video game. See, because you want to do what you want to do instead of what your relationship needs you to do. And that is the problem with a lot of men. You don't want to do what the relationship needs you to do. I don't know what the fuck y'all be thinking. Seriously, what your goal is there. But if you're not talking to her, you grunting at her and barking commands, and everything she hears from you is criticism and stuff. Who do you think really would want to be with you? I mean, really, seriously. Um, Another thing is differences in values. Because a lot of, if she's want to be with you and you suddenly talking about, well, polygyny and, you want to have 3 wives and all this old shit, and she's not down with that stuff, well, she's not going to want to be bothered with you. But it could be other kind of values too, Like this one dude I knew, this woman I worked with, her husband, his value was that when he came home every day at 6 o'clock, he wanted to, like walk in the door and have a plate slid in front of him. And she was putting up with that shit until one day then she decided she wasn't. Because she, we got off work at 4:30 and she had to pick up her kids from daycare, sometimes stop at the grocery store, whatever, and then try to cook something and have it on the table. Do all of this and don't let it be a wreck on the freeway or something like that. Then it was over. And they had to do all this and then have the food cooked and ready at 6. So she had an hour and a half from the time she walked out the door from work for that to happen. And she used to be really trying to do it. And we were looking at her like, you should stress the fuck out. Okay, just had big old bags under her eyes, worse than the ones I have. And she just looked a hot mess all the time. She didn't have time to do any self care because she was jumping around trying to, meet this man's demands. And I was like, why are you doing all that? Tell that motherfucker that he gonna get dinner at 7 like everybody else in the world. What the fuck? He walking through the door, but you want a hot plate. Then stop at Doggy Diner or somewhere on your way home and pick it up. I mean, that's the only way that's just gonna happen. So she finally wised up, and he was mad and stuff, threatening divorce or whatever. But he got over it because he realized how much child support his ass would be paying for them 4 kids they had, and he decided maybe it was good for him to just shut the fuck up. So that's what he did, nigga. I'm telling you. But I still don't understand why she even thought that was a good idea and stuff. She should have told him no from the get go. That's not gonna happen. I get off work at 4:30, and I'm not gonna be slaving over rushing home to try to cook food and have it on the table for you at 6 o'clock. That's just not happening. Adjust your expectations, sir, to something realistic. But she didn't do that. She was trying to be, pleasing him. Now, another thing you guys do is, you have behavior that's really off-putting. That's partly of your weird habits. But like we've got some advice letters, right? These women have these boyfriends that want to grab their boobs all the time, right? Just grab their butt all the time. The women tell him to stop. He's not doing it. Okay, that is a turnoff. And these women are getting furious. It's like you're just pawing on her. So what the fuck is your problem? That's not showing her respect. That's just ridiculous. Okay, and then all that stuff makes her afraid to trust you. Dudes who lie, dudes who be secretly texting other women when you claim that you're in a relationship with her by yourself. She can't find you. She finds strange stuff in your apartment, her hairs on you and stuff like that. You be getting all these weird texts that you want to delete. All this kind of behavior that makes her concerned that you're not the person that you're trying to present yourself to be. Well, she's not gonna want to be your girlfriend because it's too dangerous and scary for her emotionally to be your girlfriend. She can't invest emotions in you if that's the kind of way that you're gonna act and the way you're gonna be treating her. Yeah, I mean these are talking women with good self esteem. Now they're not gonna tolerate that shit. These are the Sheilas, okay, not the Nay Nay Nims. Because they don't really care. They got 4 or 5 niggas that they rolling through because they need that money. Okay, and every one of them's breaking them off something. They don't really care what he does or where he does it when he's not there. They just know when he walk in the door, he better be giving them 150, $250, and then that's all they really care about. Okay, then um, the other thing is the realization that these guys are like, well, they only want us after they've been all run through. Okay, that's some negative nigga shit. Okay, she had a sex life, motherfucker. So did you. And if you didn't have one, then motherfucker, you just a dork, and that's your fault. You should have been doing the stuff I'm talking about in this video. Then you would have had some pussy. But don't be jealous because she got dick and you didn't get no pussy. I mean, what's your problem here? You just being a hater. So then they come with that stuff. Oh, she run through this and that, blah blah blah, and now she wants us. No, she probably still don't want you, cause you are fucked up. There's something wrong with you. You have a bad attitude. She wants another dude that has something going on, but she don't want you. And a guy, what's really interesting is, you know, there's the only dudes that be worried about a woman who had prior sexual experience are A, men who don't have none, or B, men with little dicks. Your sex game is whack. So you want a woman who doesn't have much experience, so she doesn't have much to compare you to. Because a woman who does have experience and who has had a satisfying sex life, whether it was the ex-husband, a long-term boyfriend, or Joaquin them, whatever, whoever she had it from, she's going to know instantly the second that you get in bed with her that you don't know what the fuck you doing and that your dick game is on whack. Okay, and that's what you don't want. You hate the fact that your shit would be exposed, so you try to make it be her fault, talking about she been run through. No, nigga, you just can't fuck. That's your problem, and you don't want to admit it. So I mean, but still, I mean, the truth is gonna come out sooner or later. You can't fuck. What you gonna do about it? Read some books or something. I mean, on the internet, they got websites and stuff. They probably got some videos on YouTube about how to do it, or Vimeo or something about how to make love to a woman's body. Learn something. Do something with yourself. And stop trying to make the women's fault that you don't know how to lay pipe. Okay? That's your fault. Weak ass, punk ass, dickless motherfuckers. Ugh. You looking for somebody less experienced? Well, that means that either you're very young or you still have that fantasy that you can learn together, which I guess is fine if that's what y'all want to do. But the idea of what's a lot of experience varies so much from man to man. There's no number that you can associate with that. For some men, a lot is three. For other men, a lot is, in the double digits. To some men, a lot is in the triple digits. You just never know what a motherfucker thinks about. So that's why my thing is, it's none of his business what you did with your coochie before he came along. It's none of his concern. Now he's gonna like the pussy because once a woman has some experience and knows her way around a man's body and knows how to handle his dick and balls, then he's gonna be enjoying the benefits of all of that, and the motherfucker will shut up and just be happy and grinning all over himself, skipping his shit and whistling when he goes to work. But if he has somebody who doesn't know those things, it's going to be frustrating for both of them. And so that's that learning curve that, that you have to go through. I mean, we all went through it. You know what the fuck we was doing. But you dudes, you in your 20s and 30s and you still don't know how to fuck. I don't know what to tell you. That's a problem. Yeah, you can have a lot of, exactly. You can have a lot of experience with one man, or you can have some really rotten experiences with a couple of them, or with a lot of them, because just because quantity don't mean quality. That is an unfortunate thing. But if you have some bad stuff at home at first, that's the only one that you had. By the time you do experience some good dick, by that time, shit, you might be in your 40s or something, and be mad that you wasted 20 years with that ratchet ass dick, the motherfucker that couldn't fuck, and you'd be mad. Shit, that shit would piss me off. I would be really pissed. But that isn't my problem. But I'm just saying, I do understand women that would, get upset. A woman that wants to teach you, well, what she gonna get out of the deal? Teaching you. Please, I charge for that shit. Cross my palm with silver. Me giving lessons. Um, yeah, so anyway, those are my 5 things that I think young men need to really think about, and open your mind. Think about, reflect on some interactions that you've had with women in the past, how they came out, what kind of expressions the women had when they turned away from you. Were they looking like, or were they looking like, or were they looking like, any kind of thing like that on their face, or just bucking their eyes and not saying too much of anything, or looking horrified, or in tears, or running away. See, that's a sign that you got some issues and you need to work on yourself. Ah, I'm just saying. I, make these faces, and these people be like, these people just don't know what they doing. And just because you have a big one, that still don't mean that you know what you're doing either. But I digress into other topics. But I hope that this collection of information meets this young man's needs, and that he can, kind of figure out what's going on and get something going so that he makes the necessary changes and meets some nice lady, and the two of them go down the path of life together. That would be really nice, because it's when you see a young man who's done what he's supposed to do. He's got his education on, he's eating well, he's taking care of his body, his mind is right. He's trying to do something. Just needs to be a little bit fine tuned. Then it was nice, because that's how you see nice families made, and happy kids, and successful young people, because they have parents in their corner that are together and strong, and that really communicate well with each other, and support their children. I mean, all of this starts with the daddy um, being a solid dude. And by him being a solid dude, is together and capable of leading his family and taking care of his dependents, then he sets a pattern, he sets a tone, a standard for his children, and they take that standard and they model it for other children that might not have a father at home. So, it's really interesting to see, this has like a ripple effect. So, but it starts with men stepping up and being that dude. Okay, you got to be that dude. You got to be that nigga. and have your shit together and treat women well and with respect and know how to talk to your lady, and then, go ahead and get your shit together, because just sitting around, being single, a single man and stuff is detrimental to your health, and it's detrimental to society. And we're gonna see what's happening over in China and India with all them single men with um, no women, no wives, no families, no legacy. They can't leave their stuff to anybody. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen to them in about 20 years as their parents start dying off. These mothers in those countries, the traditional thing is that the kids stay at home until they get married. So you got these aging mothers, 60, 70 years old, with these sons still living at home. The mother's still cooking and cleaning for them when she should have been having a daughter-in-laws or two or three, to help do that. And so that the family, they grow together, they build wealth and everything, and add to animals or whatever ways they build wealth in their particular community. They do it as a unit, but with no women and these men unable to find anyone to marry, that's crumbling. And I think we'll see. We haven't. It's just the tip of the iceberg now. They're going around raping people, gang raping, and just acting a fool because they have all this pent up energy, sexual energy, and they're frustrated because they want romance. And women calm and soothe men. That's like women kind of make that structure in society. And when you have men that are running wild like that, it's like Lord of the Flies, except these are real countries instead of little boys on the island, grown men and stuff. If you haven't read the book, you should read it. It's a real study in men in men's minds and how they deteriorate. But that's what's happening in those countries, and I think a lot of these young men here are facing that kind of outcome. But even though there are women here, but their attitude is so bad, they can't manage to figure out how to talk to women and how to interact with women and get them involved in a relationship. And any abusive tendencies you have, dude, I'm telling you, you need to get your asses into therapy, because that's not gonna work. And the more and more men are abusing women, more and more women are starting to pet strap up. So y'all gonna be starting to drop dead and try to figure out, well, I just wanted to hit her and this and that. These women gonna be like, oh hell no, motherfucker, and that's gonna be the end of you. So you need to find some other way to communicate your frustrations, to deal with your anger and your feelings and all this stuff. And if you feel something positive for a woman, you need to have enough courage to say it and get your self-esteem up and stop running in fear of everything. There's a couple of videos here. There's a playlist rather, that says advice for men. In that, you will be able to find all the videos that I've done. Well, I think I put all of them in there, maybe not, but most of the videos that I've done that have content oriented towards males and helping you improve your interactions with women and your interactions with yourself, how you treat and talk to yourself, as well as how you treat and talk to women, your children, your parents, everybody. So there's probably, I don't know, 20, 30 videos in there. I'm going to add this one to that playlist. And feel free, if you have questions, guys, like this one, please don't post them on the wall. Like I said, it was lucky, it was just a miracle that I actually saw it. You need to send your questions in to me on survivingdating@gmail.com, your comments rather. Advice questions and stuff, you go to up to the top of the YouTube channel, you from the home page, and you will see that button that says get advice. Just click that, it will take you to the advice submission form. There's also a link in each of my show descriptions to that same form. So you get at the top of the channel or in the show description, and you just click that and it'll take you to the same submission form. But if you have ideas for content, things like that, you can email those, survivingdating@gmail.com. So I thank you guys. We had a lot of people who sit through both live streams tonight. I appreciate your patience and your support here on the Debsterism channel on YouTube. I want to thank my moderators who both showed up for the double duty chat tonight, because this one was like unplanned. Like I said, this was going to be a video. I had already made the slides, but to do it, I decided to do it as a live stream, and I'm glad I did. I think this is better because there'll be chat. You guys can read the chat from the ladies and gets either more, even more ideas and information from them. All right, so everybody, you guys go out and have a great evening. We'll be doing the final May Day show tomorrow at noon, and instead of, because one of the women that's going to be my guest is in Germany, And so she, we had to work out that time difference thing, and it was a struggle. So we finally decided, okay, we're gonna do it at noon. So it's, I don't know what time it is for her, but that worked out, and so it should be really interesting. We're going to be talking about men who pay, and how men's willingness to pay, for like prostitutes and all this kind of stuff, is keeping that industry alive. If when men weren't willing to do that, then the industry would dry up, and there wouldn't be sex trafficking and all this other stuff. There's horrible things that are happening to young women, but these guys are keeping that industry afloat, and we're going to be talking about who is it that's doing this and why. Okay, so that's tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I hope you can join me. That's 12 noon Pacific time. That's 3 p.m. if you are on the East Coast. Be right here. We got a great show coming up, and then we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back on our regular scheduled programming starting on Tuesday with What the Fuck Tuesday Relationship Advice. My name is Deborrah Cooper. I will see you guys tomorrow. Go out and have a great time tonight. Bye bye.